All right. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another edition of Ulon.Life. My name is Isan. We want you guys to call on in 312-738-1060. Our hot news topic tonight is going to be, if you are over a relationship, what are some of the things that you do to get over it? But I can't do it without my beautiful live co-host, which is Cynthia in the house. Hey, Cyn, how you doing?
Y'all.
How your week been going so far?
My weekend is going awesome. I have so many things.
I know it.
in
You know I've been
store.
keeping up with you, and I'm like, oh, okay, Cyn on her grind like always. And that's why you are beautiful co-host. But as you guys know, without further ado, we always bring on the top-notch spoken word artists around Chicago. Tonight we are, you in for a treat with one of the guys who I help not just watch them, grow, but mentored. We had a program, that we actually got paid through the city. The city actually financed one of our projects a few years back, and it was about tickets for, like, say, for instance, driving under the influence or not texting and driving and stuff like that. And we had shows all over Chicago where we promoted it.
Oh, wow.
And it was off the chain. So without further ado, we're getting ready to go live with my boy, the one and only Ted Weisberg.
Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, Redline, Howard, Belmont, Fullerton, Jackson, Harrison, Roosevelt, Cermak, and that train changes tracks. It switches from privilege to non-privilege, from haves to have-nots, from kids that make it to Harvard to those that won't graduate high school, from two-parent families to one mother raising 4 kids, or that so-called man on the corner that smokes 4 times a day, but mentally he is 47th. 6 murders in 3 hours.
Come on.
I said 6 murders in 3 hours. The red line is red for a reason. It's the same color as our blood. The 2 O's in blood is the same sound that someone makes when they are wounded, or when a teacher hears that 7 students dropped out of the 9th grade, and I'm at 79th. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. You thought that was a train, but that was the door shutting behind the students that flushed their education away. So stop building bridges if they go nowhere, and know that just because you have a few bad eggs in a bunch doesn't mean you can't cook breakfast, and that just because you have a few bad eggs in a bunch doesn't mean you can't cook breakfast.
That's right.
And yes, I could own a treasure chest, but it doesn't mean I'm rich. Maybe I've read every book on art, but I can't paint a masterpiece when text is frozen in time. So the next time you see me at 63rd, maybe that's how many lines are in my next poem. And I might perform this piece 87 times without ever writing a new one. And if I can't be 100% perfect, well, then I'll settle for 95. So clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. That train changed tracks.
Woo! Okay. That's what I'm talking about, Ted. What's up? Okay. Come on and join on in, move on in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. Okay, so Ted, real quick, how long have you been doing spoken word?
Oh boy, I started back in 2011 in a college dorm room, and the initial idea of Cypher was to make friends in college, and then it grew into a business.
Wow.
All because at the time the guy that helped me run it was like, we could sell shirts, and I was like, no one's gonna buy shirts for this. He's like, give me the money, I'll flip them. And he did, and it sort of went on from there, and we moved to Humboldt Park, and then we ended up at the hostel, and along the way, doing spoken word, you learn how to interact and build relationships with people that have vastly different backgrounds, like me and Isan. We come from 2 very different worlds, but through the art of spoken word, we've been able to build that steady relationship.
That's right.
And it's why I personally believe that performing arts and art in general is just so important in society today.
Really? Oh, wow. Ted, I remember seeing you at some of these spoken word places, and it would be like the heart of the West Side or the heart of the South Side. And just to let everybody know, Ted didn't really care where he would go because it was the love of the art.
Yeah.
And I got to give it up to you because you actually made a good impact and a great difference.
That's awesome.
And Rose Cypher, I watched it grow.
Yeah.
So Rose Cypher, just so you guys know, is his organization. Ted is the CEO and founder. And can you tell us about Rose Cypher? How can somebody get in touch with you as far as the arts?
Yeah. So if you're interested in learning more about Rose Cypher, you can go to ROWCYPHER.com.
So Cypher, like a cipher.
Yep,
So
like a cipher.
ROW,
Yep.
Cypher, okay.
And all the information's on that website. If we have upcoming events, if we're collaborating with anyone, or your university or school needs some sort of entertainment, we got you. And of course, we work heavily with Isan and Ulon.
All the time.
And I gotta
and I see you got the Ulon shirt.
Yeah,
also
gotta rep
That's
the
what's
Ulon.
up. That's what's up.
And you
Ulon no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
We love Rose Cypher, but you definitely Ulon,
Yeah.
so it's all good.
And I just gotta give up for you for all the things you do in the city and
Appreciate it.
all the behind the scene things too.
Mm-hmm.
This man works harder than almost anyone I know.
It's all good.
So I have a question. So what exactly is Rose Cypher? Is that correct?
Yeah, so ROW stands for redefining our world, and then Cypher is a group of people coming to express themselves through art.
Nice.
The reason I named it ROW was that was the nickname of the college dorm that I lived on. It was Residence on Washington.
Okay.
And Phenom, who was the main mentor.
Shout out to Phenom.
Yeah, shout out to
Boy.
Phenom, who helped me start it. He said, people aren't going to show up if you just call it an open mic. You got to give people something that they can, attach themselves to.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, lastly, is there a way, besides that, do you have any numbers that you'd like to put out there? Is there a number for an office or even a cell? Something that people can reach you besides that? Or do you prefer just the
the website's really the best way. There's a contact page.
Okay.
You can also go on the Facebook. You just search Rose Cypher. There's a page. There's a group. And those are the best ways to contact.
Now, I remember some of the shows that we did, but one of the ones that really sticks out in my mind is, of course, the hosteling.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because the hosteling is an international, place where I know people come from all over the world.
Yeah.
And so when we're doing shows up there, I remember seeing people from Japan, Canada,
We had that Russian kid that did that rap that one time.
Exactly. And so Africa, Portuguese, Cuba, everywhere people gravitated to because they come in and they get to go there and then sleep in there. It's like a hotel, and as long as you're coming from out of the country, it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheap, and so you get to see around, Chicago.
Awesome.
And then you get to also get some art.
Yeah.
At the same time with us.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. So hats off for that, man. That was a really good spot, and I know that we still get that spot
Yeah.
discount because they're still calling me.
Yeah.
And emailing me.
Yeah, we
So
still
that's what's
do
up.
work, both of us, with them.
Okay, so real quick, Ulon, we're putting information out there. Before we start, so you guys start thinking, and you guys at home too, feel free, and also our lives out here, both our lives. You can call in at 312-738-1060. The topic tonight, because, this whole season is about relationships, we want to know, say, for instance, you're in a relationship, Sam, and it just doesn't work out, it's no problem. But you really intimate, with that person, it didn't work, you may be devastated, you may, what are your ways to get over that relationship? What are some of the things that you would do to get over that relationship? So you guys will think real quick, so we'll come right back. But I have a special announcement tonight. I just got a call from a close friend. You guys may know T.O. Hardiman, who's an activist here in Chicago, and he wanted me to plug something tomorrow. So as you guys know, tomorrow, one is going out, man, one is coming in, and so we did something through the years, T.O. started it, and it was a carrying coffin around the City Hall. And what we did is represented the bloodshed, the people that we've lost. Male, female, young, old, all the people in Chicago that we've lost. So again, tomorrow, we're pushing out, we're saying a farewell to Rom. This is a lot of blood on your hands, basically is what we're saying. Definitely this is our political views, of how we feel about it. And so those who want to, participate, come out there tomorrow. We will be out there tomorrow we're going to start at noon, carrying it around. But if you want to come out there, be at there at 11:30.
Wow,
Okay? So that's putting it out there for everybody. If you guys want to come out and support, we'll be out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, moving right along. So again, you're in a relationship and it doesn't work out. What are some of the things that you can do to get over that relationship? I'm definitely gonna start with our women first. Saint, you got the floor.
I think first the best thing to do would be disconnect from the individual all the way telephone messages. Just block
Nice.
them totally in order to
Nice.
move forward. And then just, continue to, and then build on self. Find whatever it is that you like to do and just continuously to work towards it. And I'm saying that because
stay
I was in a
focused.
situation
Okay.
to whereas I separated from this guy and we were together a long time. And so I'm now better. I am now a better person I am now than I was when I was, up under his shell. But you got to disconnect from people and just follow your dream and just, and just live life.
Keep moving.
Seriously, I mean,
Okay.
no other way.
Sounds good. All right, Ted, I want some male energy up in here. What would be some of the things you can do to dissociate or to move forward?
I actually 100% agree with your co-host. People like to say, "Oh, we're adults. We can still be friends." Like, if it's a hardcore relationship, there's a lot of pain, and you need that time to
Good.
just
That's true.
grieve. Try and join some after work, sports league or something. I think
For
keeping
men, of
yourself.
course.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, hey, if you want to get out to with the sports, no problem. But we get what you're saying.
Yeah,
to stay
but
up.
you gotta keep yourself busy, but you also have to allow that time to also grieve, because if it's a
Absolutely.
5-7 year relationship or
Absolutely.
whatever, it takes time, and you gotta process that emotion in a way that will help you get over that.
Nice.
What's your views?
Thank you.
Oh, wait for
I'm usually the one I was like, yeah.
put me on the. Well, okay, personally, I think that these are some of the best things we got going on. We'll get to the phone lines in 1 second. Let me just say this. I agree. I think one of the main things is to stay busy.
Absolutely.
To keep your mind focused, stay busy, make sure that you are on a spiritual, however you relate to God or whatever you have to do, lean on a higher power, make sure that you
Absolutely.
stay focused on that. We're going to go to the phone lines again, only because I know we've been putting them off the last couple
Yes,
weeks.
we have.
And we'll go to the phone lines. So, caller, you are on the air with Ulon.Life. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am, and good evening, and
Oh,
also
good evening.
thanks for taking the call.
Oh, definitely.
You made a statement. Why do you think is the ex-mayor is the cause of murder? Why do you think he's the one who did the murdering?
Right.
It wasn't him or the police. It was the people who was shooting the guns. So tell me, why do you think it's the mayor's fault?
Okay.
Let me get out there, and thanks for taking the call.
Oh,
I
thank you
wanna
so
hear
much, caller. What's your name, caller? Or do you want to say anonymous? Okay, I think they already disconnected from the caller. But I think that's a good point.
Repeat the question for our live.
Okay, so for the live audience who may not have heard, because I know it's hard, we can hear perfect in here. But what the caller said is, in a nutshell, me personally made a statement that we wanted the bloodshed that the mayor caused, because they're going to be carrying around the coffin. Why is the mayor connected to that statement? Why would it be his fault? And I think that's a good way to look at it. And the caller was valid in saying that. So let me address that, because I made the statement. So as being an activist here in Chicago, I'm always in the streets. I'm always dealing with a lot of issues politically, from City Hall all the way down to the street community. And the reason that we're picking that pivotal point is because when the Laquan McDonald case first opened up, there was a 1.5 year delay as far as the addressal of that issue. And the superintendent at the time knew about it, which was McCarthy. The mayor knew about it, which was Rahm, and the list goes on down. You know what I'm saying? Even, Anita and everyone
Domino
else.
effect.
Yeah, it trickled down. We cannot, I agree with you, we can't just say that the mayor is the sole purpose of the killings, because as we know, the streets, young individuals are going through tension. There's no resources out here for them. The guns are being brought in, by the powers that be, and whatever happens. I mean, we could go on and on about who to point the finger at. However, it wasn't addressed by somebody who I guess we could say is at the top of the totem pole, that knew about it, that had seen that tape. So instead of taking all this TIF money and other funds that have been allocated to him that he has the power to release, we felt that he should be more responsible in knowing that tape was out, more responsible in getting some of that money to these, less, fortunate communities on the south side and the west side, in order to give these young people a chance that they have on the north side, a chance at redirecting their minds, a chance at Big Brother programs or after school centers, or maybe opening a storefront that's been closed in our communities for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So I think the biggest part is that he lied about it, that he said he didn't know when they had indeed seen those tapes of Laquan, and kind of buried it and hoping that it would go away during his re-election, and it didn't. So he got caught holding the bag, and that's why we're kind of pushing that for tomorrow. So there's a lot of reasons that we're coming around tomorrow. It's just not focused. Don't think it's just at the mayor. However, he is going out of office, and we think that he could have done a much better job as a mayor of Chicago than he did. That's why they're out there. And again, this is someone else's project. We support him. That would probably have been better addressed if he had been here.
Correct.
But we are in full support of him. Did you want to add anything, anybody?
I think you hit the nail on the head.
You did.
Okay. Again, thank you so much, caller, because it's because of you guys that, we definitely, keep the show going, and we do take all the feedback that you guys want to give. Now, I want to switch the question a little bit from what was earlier about the relationships. Let's say you've been in a relationship for longer than a year, a year plus, and there's children that are involved in this relationship. Now, the children themselves have become attached to this new person, Maybe it's been 3 years, maybe it's been 4 years, however long the time is. How do you handle that situation? How do you tell your children that this person will be no longer inside that person's life anymore? You want to start with this one, Ted? Because I see my co-host, I know her. Her mind is going, brrr. She thinking real hard. So, Ted, maybe you can have a quick insight what my beautiful co-host thinks on this one.
Oh, this is out of my league.
Yeah.
Well,
because I don't have any children,
right.
so.
You know what? I can definitely elaborate because this has happened to me. I was in a long,
Jump on in.
longer than 5-year relationship. And so as time progressed, of course, my son was asking for this individual. And so I couldn't pretty much, it was too emotional for me to really express it. So Lord forgive me for this. And to this day, my son still believes this. So I end up telling my son that he went to the Army.
Wow, that's deep.
I
Wow. But you're being honest.
Yeah,
and that's
but
what
I was
the show's
protecting
all
my
about.
son
Right, honestly.
and myself. And however, if now that he's older, if he asks, then I'll tell him, it didn't work out. But at that time, my son is 11 now. At that time, he was probably 5, 6, 7, something like that. So it would have been too emotional for me to keep going back and forth with him about that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't his biological father. So that's the only reason why I did that. But
Now, in your question, so this is not the biological father. This is someone that
Correct.
you just were dating. Okay.
Correct.
I think, and obviously it depends on the age of the children.
Indeed.
And that will change how you
Hopefully my
answer a
son
question.
does
But I think,
Love you much, old boy.
I think it either is, sometimes it just things don't work out
Absolutely.
between adults if they're real young, and if they're high school or whatever, then you can have a much more deep, in-depth
Absolutely.
conversation.
Absolutely.
It all depends on the
absolutely.
age.
Yep.
Definitely,
Indeed.
and also too, I think I think a good point that was brought up is the age of the child.
Absolutely.
So if the child is older, then I would say you just be honest.
Like you said, yeah. I mean,
just
at
be
that
honest.
point, because it's a lesson learned too, because two people aren't going to be together forever, and things do happen in relationships. So you telling the truth, and you're telling, showing this child that
Right.
things happen.
Now, what if the child does want to continue? As a parent, what would you give the now? Because now you have to dissociate yourself from the hurt and think. I'm like this. Was that person a good role model, despite whatever you two went through? If that person was a good role model, how do you handle that? Do you think this should still be somebody? Because now, bear in mind, this is not the biological parent, so it becomes a little tricky. So, I mean, how do we tackle that?
I think just to, for the sake of the emotional state of being, like you mentioned earlier, I think we just have to detach the whole thing, because quite naturally, if my child is involved with you, then perhaps I'm going to be, around. So, just not to keep piggy back and forth about what could have been, like he said, I'll just, it didn't work out, son, and this is why. And just move forward. I mean, it'll be too emotional. I'm a female, so y'all may see it differently.
Right.
I think it comes down to the age of your child.
Right.
If it's a high schooler, they invented Starbucks for a reason. And your kid can take the bus or whatever, or the train.
Right.
I like it. You're right.
But if if your kid's 4 or whatever,
Exactly.
then I do think you're right on saying, for my own health,
Exactly.
I can't be around this person.
Right.
And because people change too. So at the same time, I don't know your motive. Are you doing this to play back on my emotions, or are you really sincere about the relationship that you're trying to establish with my son?
Right.
See, it gets emotional and mental at the same time
It
too.
definitely would be mental. But I also think that you can tell as a parent, especially as a mom, if this person genuinely does love your child, you know what I'm saying? And if your child really has bonded with this person and looked up to this person. I've been in that situation before.
Okay.
And being that, I am, of course, what I do in the streets, right? I conflict, big stuff with the gangs, with guns and this and that. So I feel that a relationship is not as, bad, most of the time. But I've been in a position to whereas I'm still in the children's lives in past relationships.
Are
only
they little
because
kids?
no, they're I would say maybe 7th grade up to high school.
Okay.
And we meet up, and the mother has been so supportive and helpful. I mean, even though we may not deal with each other, she has allowed me to just have a relationship with the children
That's
alone.
awesome.
And which I'm very,
So that means
I like that. I mean,
your motives are pure. Good.
Right,
I like
right,
that.
and they can see that.
Got it.
And so we don't even deal with them most of the time. I would just literally go to the child's school. They call me, if anything's wrong with the child. Only because of, the past. They won't go on a field trip. They call me. Health doctor. They may call me. I'm on all the stuff too. So it's been very mature. It's been a very good, no matter how much the breakup was, it's been good. Now, bring us to the last question, because we're going by pretty fast. So say for instance, you are, and this happens all the time, say for instance, you are in a public place, and it's been, and it was a pretty bad breakup or whatever, because remember, tonight's theme is how do you get over a relationship, how you get over something like that. And you just happen to run into this person. You're at a supermarket. You run into this person. And there's like you can see he or she and get out and go the other way. You literally run into the other person before you can, kind of get out the, maneuver your way out. How do you handle that?
I try to keep things cordial. I'll speak and keep it moving.
So what if he does like a touchy thing, like, hey, how you been?
I'm doing fine. I'm good. And
Right.
keep on moving. Because again, for
Right.
for women,
Right.
it's emotion.
Right.
It's emotions. And so, if we detached it, let it be.
Right.
So, hey, how you doing? And
Nice.
going about my business.
Okay, all right. Just trying to get away as quick as
For real, I'm telling you.
Let's get on the curb like, whew.
Probably so, all that good stuff. In
my
your face,
God.
hey, how you
Right,
doing? And I'm about to go.
Right.
I mean,
Not bad,
even though us guys have feelings too.
Really?
And there's, I know it's a shocker, right? And there's definitely those exes that that hey, how you doing, and keep walking.
Right.
It's definitely appropriate. So I think if your scenario, you said it's a bad breakup. Hey, how are you? Keep going.
Right.
It's a supermarket. It's
simple.
big enough.
Right.
So, that would open the door when you say, hey, how are you?
Indeed.
Because now they got an answer and reply.
Yeah, but everyone just
So-
says good. No one actually
Right.
says
That's
how
I
they
mean,
do it.
you and
conversation.
now remember, bear in mind, the person, you might have caused the breakup and don't want to be there because you see the person is toxic.
Yeah.
So you might, really want out of the relationship. So therefore, they might be trying to hold on and say, well, I'm doing good. How you, and really try to get into it. So you have to be careful what you
Yeah.
say.
That's true.
You have to be very careful. You guys at home, real quick, I'm going to go to this overhead just so you guys can see at home what's going on. You guys at the live, of course, get to see behind the scenes. But at home, give us a call, 312-834-8020. If you know anybody looking for any type of jobs, if you are ex-felon and have any type of X's on your back, male or female, please give us a call, or you can call, or you can actually get in touch with me on my personal Gmail, esoundthe1.pk@gmail.com. All right? Okay, we are back. Again, Ted, it's been great. As I told you, sometimes it just moves real fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's wrapping up. I just want to say, you guys, a lot of Ulons have been calling this week. This has been a very tensional week. I want to remind you guys, as the weather breaks, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going on in the streets. Driving. Please bear in mind, I'm all over the city, and I'm here to tell you right now, there are accidents everywhere. Remember, when the weather gets nice, people driving like they're in the Indy 500. Like literally.
So
people
true.
without insurance. People that are intoxicated. People that are just, having a good time and not paying attention. As we did our show, texting and driving, or just being on the phone, careless. It's good, the weather's good, and people are just gone. So, please pay attention. Pay attention to your surroundings. Look around. Check all your mirrors. Be careful, because I'm telling you, accidents are happening everywhere, and it doesn't have to be your fault. All right? So bear in mind, when you get behind that seat, be careful. People are driving crazy right now. Secondly, around the city, there is a lot of people right now that there's tension is high. The weather's breaking. I've noticed a lot of more fights. I've been in cars all over the city. So just again, pay attention to where your children are. If you're older, if you are an adolescent right now, you know where the hot spots are. You know what I'm saying? Hit and go. Because I know I have some listeners out there that are doing that. Real quick, shouts out.
As always, I thank God, my family, my son, my cousin, and Ulon for giving me the platform.
Yes, thank you so much.
I want to
Ted,
thank
shouts out.
both of you
Bless
for
you.
Yes,
this
you are
wonderful
welcome.
time.
really
It's always great connecting with Eson, and keep on doing what you guys are doing.
Man,
Thank
for
you.
sure. I
Appreciate
appreciate it. Again, for you guys at home, man, all the Ulons everywhere, man, we love you guys. Make sure that you guys call in 312-834-8020. Much love to all the Kellers, young and old. Miss K, you know who you are, Nancy. I love you to death, and everybody else out there that's doing it. And of course, you know what I'm saying, my media fam, my boys behind the scenes, my boy Amari, Mike, you know what I'm saying, we got
Amari.
Cozy in the house, Jesse back there, you know what I'm saying, and my G baby, and of course my boy, who's always on point right here, Milwaukee,
Milwaukee.
AKA Rich, that's right. Man, love you guys. Again, each one teach one. Oh, and Adrian. I love you, Adrian. Keep doing your thing.
We love
Miss
you,
Lady.
Adrian.
Yes. Again, each one teach one, and don't stop there. Holla back.